So today we are looking at the Solus Linux 4.6. The codename is Convergence. So here is the boot menu of Solus Linux. So I choose the Budgie desktop environment. So I'm going to boot it in the live boot. So Solus Linux 4.6 is released after like 9 to 10 months after the release of Solus Linux 4.5. So it's been almost like a year after the release of 4.5. So you have like a 4 desktop environment right now. So the GNOME desktop environment, the Budgie, the KDE Plasma, and another one is the XFCE desktop environment. So you should be getting 4 desktop environment for the 4.6 right now. And also there are some latest kernels like a 6.7, 6.10, Mesa version and all those things. So I'm going to show you as soon as the desktop layout is loaded. So right now I'm running it on the virtual machine, which is a VMware with a 60 GB of virtual disk, 8 GB of RAM, and my CPU is i5 1240p. So the booting process will take like a bit different when compared to the bare metal. So as we are talking, the wallpaper or the desktop is pretty much loading right now. So usually the booting process will take from 1 minute to almost like 3 minutes in the virtual machines. Sometimes there are like some distributions which will boot up right away, like this one. As you can see, it just took like maybe 25 seconds and we already have our desktop layout. So I'm going to show you the kernel information, audio, graphics, whatever it is. I'm going to show everything. And also the Solus Linux is an independent Linux distribution. And the country of origin is from Ireland. So it is from the Ireland. So I already said like 4 desktop environments available. So I'm going to show you all the information so you don't need to worry about anything. So right now let's first change the display settings. Or else let's first see the system monitors, because we don't want to touch anything. So I didn't even update, or I didn't anything touched like a settings or anything. I'm going to show you how much of resource it's going to consume in the virtual machines. So these are all the process run as soon as the boot up. So here is all the resources. Like a RAM, it's consuming like a 1.3 GB and cache is like a 2.7 GB. And CPU, you need to run like a minute or 60 seconds in order to see whether the CPU is pretty much stable or not. So it will be different in the bare metal. So the user experience and also the hardware resource consuming will be different in the bare metal. So you need to understand these common things, because in the bare metal it's going to be performing way better and also it's going to be consuming less resources. So you need to understand these common things. And if you have like a low-end PC, you need to go with some other desktop environment like a XFCE and all those things. Never go with like a GNOME or KDE Plasma, because it's going to consume a bit more there. So I'm going to show you the system requirements also, downloading process, website, and all those things. We're going to go through all those things. So I'm going to first show you the resources, and the version you get is, let's check the version, 46.0. So you get pretty much latest versions of all those things. So this is how it's performing. CPU is pretty much stable. RAM is almost like a 1.5 GB. So I choose the Budgie desktop environment instead of other desktop environment. But if you want to see those videos, I'm going to post it today and tomorrow, because I'll be posting 2 videos daily. So today will be the Budgie and other desktop environment. Tomorrow will be the other desktop environments, like 2 other desktop environments. So 4 desktop environments will be covered in today's and tomorrow's video. So let me find the display settings. It's been like a 9-10 months, so I don't remember anything. But if you want any videos of Solus Linux, you can just search it in my channel. You can just search like a Solus Linux in the channel and you should be getting the videos. So let me change the monitor resolution. I'm using the 1920 into 1080 monitor resolution. So I'm going to choose that one. Click on apply. So here is our confirmation. Keep this configuration. And here is the about information. So here you have all the information. So the codename is Convergence. I already mentioned in the beginning. So I'm going to keep the system monitor in the right side corner, so you can see all the resources throughout the video and you can judge it on your own. You don't need any information about from me, but I'm going to give all the information and you can decide on your own. You don't need to get some other information. So that's the reason I'm going to keep the CPU monitor or the system monitor in the right side corner. So the device name, it says like a Solus. So I'm running it on the live boot. So that's the reason it has like a name. Or else if we created an account or if we installed it on the hard disk, the name will be changed to whatever you given in the user account creation. And the RAM, I already mentioned I'm using 8 GB of RAM for the virtual machine. So the available RAM will be 7.7 GB. and my CPU is i5 1240p 12th generation. So disk is almost 60 GB, which I already mentioned in the beginning. About the desktop environment, Budgie, you get the 10.9.2 version. I don't know the latest version of the Budgie version, but you can just search it in the Google or whatever the search engine. Just like type in like a Budgie desktop environment latest version, and you should be getting all the information. And the latest version of the Solus is 4.6, which I already mentioned in the beginning. And also the code name is Convergence. And the OS type, it's a 64-bit windowing system. I'm using X11. And the Linux kernel you get is 6.10.13. So this is the stable version. I'm going to show you the Linux kernel website, and also you should be getting all the information. So the pre-installed applications, let me first show you the pre-installed applications, and we can go to the browser and all those things. So here is all the pre-installed applications you get. So in my point of view, I don't think it has like a bloatware or anything, because these are all the important things. Most of them, like a disk, celluloid, calendar is also important, calculator, the file manager. Here are some settings which is also important. So there is literally no bloatware in my point of view, but if it's bloatware, it's clearly up to you. So in my point of view, it's everything is important for here. Applications like a Thunderbird and all those things. So let me open the Firefox web browser. So the latest version should be the Firefox 131, which is stable version, and also the beta version is available, which is 132. So if you want the latest version, you just need to go to the official website and get all the release notes of that specific version. But let's see what version we get. So there is also a release notes in the official website of our Solus Linux. So I'm going to show you all the changes, like a Mesa information and the kernel information. So you get the 131.0.3. So you get the stable version of the Firefox, which is pretty much good. And let me type in. So before anything, I'm going to open like a few important websites, and I'm going to come back and get all the information here. So let me open all the important website. So here I opened all the important website and also other tabs here. So we got all the information. So I'm going to go through one by one. So the version of the Firefox already mentioned. Version of the or the name of the browser is a Firefox, and the kernel version you get is a 6.10.13, which I already mentioned. So let's go to the Linux kernel website. So just type in like a Linux kernel in the search engine, and the first link will be obviously the official website, or else you can just type in like a www.kernel.org. And the versions of a 6.10 is end of life, so you need to consider this thing also. So the version we have is a 6.10, and the 6.10 version is about to end. So here is like a end of life version, and it's a stable version. Right now the stable version is 6.11.3, and also there is like a mainline version. So it's a RC, which is a release candidate version 6.12, and these are all the other long-term versions, which will be end of life, will be around like a 2026 and all those things I'm going to show you right now. So here is all the kernel information. So if you don't know what it is, like the mainline and the stable and the long-term version, so you should be getting all the information in the releases. So about the pre-patch or the release candidate version, here is the description of what is release candidate version, or also about the mainline version, and also about the stable version. Here is the all the information or the description of what is stable version, and here is the long-term versions. So the long-term versions are right here, and end of life is available right in front of you, projected end of life. And in order to get the kernel information, you just need to type in uname-r to get the kernel information, or like a uname-a, neofetch, fastfetch, inxi, inxi-sv8. So these are all the commands you can get the kernel information, or else you can just go to the Firefox web browser, just type in like a about support, and you should be getting the kernel information. And about the OS theme, here is the OS theme. There is no like a dark or light, it just says like a Materia on the both sides. And here is like a available RAM, disk space available is 1.5 GB. Here is like a browser information, which I consider as unimportant, or it's not clearly important for the video, so I'm just going to skip this part. So if anything is important, you can just pause the video and read everything. So here is like a LLVM pipe and Mesa information. I'm going to show you all those things in the command also in the terminal. Again, here you have the Mesa version 24.2.3, which is mentioned in the official website of a Solus Linux. And the window protocol is X11, Budgie, GNOME. And here is like other information like a monitor resolution, Mesa version, and these are some other important information. If you consider as important, you can just go to the all those things by pausing the video. So we got browser and distro information, we got the kernel information. Now let's go to the Solus Linux official website. So this is the link. So you just need to search with the Solus Linux, or you can just go to the official link, which is getsol.us is the URL for the Solus Linux. And here is all the information like what is Solus Linux. So if you don't know what is Solus Linux, here is the some information. You get like a Thunderbird and all the applications pre-installed. So this is some information. If you don't know, you can go through all those things, or else you can check my previous videos of Solus Linux. And you need to go to the blog to get the latest version or the 4.6 version information. So here you should be seeing the Solus 4.6 released on October 14, 2024. So you just need to click on read more, and here you should be seeing all the information. So basic information or the same information you get in the same desktop environment is the Firefox. You should be getting same version in like a 4 desktop environments, which is GNOME, XFCE, Budgie and KDE Plasma. And LibreOffice version will be same in all the desktop environments, and also the Thunderbird version. You get the 128.3.1 in the Thunderbird, LibreOffice 24.2.5.2, the Firefox 131. So you get all the information. And in the Budgie and GNOME, you should be getting the rhythm box for audio playback with the latest release of alternative toolbar extension to provide a more modern user experience. So here are all the changes and experimental software centers, kernel and Mesa. I already showed you the Mesa version. Here it is. For those needing the LTS kernel, we provide the 6.6.54. So here is all the information about the kernel. Here is the Mesa version. And about the specific Budgie version, here is like a Xreader has replaced Evans, Xweaver has been replaced Eye of GNOME, Ngrampa has replaced by File Roller. And also upstream release notes can be found here. You just need to click on the link and you should be getting all the information of that Budgie. So you can get all the information. So the main things I'm going to show you in the terminal as well. So GNOME, when you go with the GNOME, here are all the information about the GNOME. And about the Plasma, here is complete information. You get the 6.1.5, KDE Gear and KDE Frameworks and all those things. About the XFCE, you get the 4.15 and like a mousepad text editor, you should be getting all these applications. And here are all the known issues, and also downloading. You can just click on the download, and here is like a past and future. And here how you to download. Here you can choose the desktop environment. So XFCE should be the beta version. So it's a beta version. If you're a normal user, I really don't recommend to go with the beta version. Here are 3 desktop environments if you want to choose for the stable version. So if you have like a low-end PC, I rather recommend you go with the Solus Budgie. And also Budgie will be also consuming a bit more when compared to the XFCE. So it's better to wait for the XFCE if you have like a low-end PC. But if you have like a good hardware resources, you can go with the 3 desktop environments. Here are all the file sizes. And about the system requirements, here are all the information. You just need to click on the our installation requirements. And the official website will be providing all the information here. So about the system requirements, you need a blank DVD or a USB drive that is at least 3 GB. On UEFI systems, an EFI partition of 1 GB minimum, an internet connection, system connected to AC power. So minimum requirements is 10 GB or 9.3 GB, 4 GB of RAM, 64-bit processor, BIOS or UEFI, and display adapters, any onboard or dedicated adapter. And the recommended requirements is like a 25 GB or like a 23.3 GB for specific. And memory is like a 8 GB or more. And here is about the processor, 2 GHz quad core, and system firmware UEFI. So you got all the information about the system requirements in order to run the Solus Linux. So I have all the system requirements, and also I'm running it on the virtual machine. So everything is working right now properly for me. But if you want like other desktop environments of these things, like if you want a video of XFCE, Plasma or like a GNOME version, Do let me know in the comment section. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to post today will be the Budgie and other desktop environment. But if you want other desktop environments like other 2 desktop environments, I'm going to post it tomorrow. So do let me know in the comment section, or else I'm just going to leave that like that. So if you want the videos, you can comment it in the description or in the comment section. And sorry, it's not a description. I'm a bit tired, so that's the reason I'm talking some weird things here. So try to ignore that things and you should be getting all the information. So here are all the available downloads. So I'm choosing the Budgie right now because I'm making a video on the Budgie. And always check the file or check the ISO file, whatever the file you are downloading. So it says Solus Budgie release 2024 10th, which is October 14th is the date, and here is the year. And the ISO file is around like 2.6 GB. So here is all the size of the ISO files of the desktop environments. And the other link is system requirements. I already showed you. So we got all the information from the browser. So I'm going to open the terminal and we can type some commands to get like a Mesa information, audio and graphics information. Let me open the terminal and keep an eye on the hardware resources, which is system monitor. So you can judge it on your own whether to use this specific desktop environment or not. So here we have the terminal open. And about the version, you should be getting the version 3.52.2 for GNOME 46. So I'm sitting away from the monitor, so that's the reason I need to take a look there properly. So let me change the preference so you can see everything properly. So there is like a transparent background, so I don't want to see that one. Let me go with the light style. And also there is still the transparency. Let me change it to the solid color. And here is the built-in scheme. I'm going to choose the GNOME. I'm going to choose the GNOME Lite. So let me try to type in like a neofetch. Hit enter. So it says command not found. Let me try the inxi -sv8. Hit enter. So here you should be getting all the distro information. So if you want to install the neofetch, you can install it. But I'm going to show you the audio and graphics information. So neofetch is not installed, so you need to install on your own. Neofetch or fastfetch, whatever you want, you can install it. So host, let's first continue with the system. So host, it says like a Solus because we are running it on the live boot. That's the reason. Kernel information, I already mentioned like a 3 times. You get the 6.10.13. And compiler GCC version, you get the 14.2.0. And this is some unnecessary thing, so I'm going to skip it. So it's a 64-bit. And let's go with the desktop environment, which is Budgie. Version is 10.9.2. GTK version is 3.24.43. And LightDM version is 1.32.0. Distro, it says as like a Solus Linux 4.6. The code name is Convergence. And the machine, it's a VMware, so it's clearly unnecessary to get all the information, so I'm just going to skip it. So if you want the VMware information, you can just pause the video and read everything. So it's clearly unnecessary for the video. So about the RAM system memory, so 8 GB of RAM, available is 7.72 GB, used is 1.52 GB. Here is other information. And the CPU information, which I already mentioned, i5 1240p. And here is like a vulnerabilities, topology and all those things, which is clearly unnecessary. And the important things here is the graphics. VMWGFX version is 2.20. And what else we have? Display is X11, server Xorg version 21.1.13 with the XVLAN version 24.1.3. And this is like a monitor resolutions, available monitor resolutions, my default monitor resolution. EGL version is 1.5. And what else we have? OpenGL version is 4.5. Compact V version is 4.3. Mesa version is 24.2.3. So I'm going to give you all the release note information in the description as well. And you already saw all those things in the browser. I already showed you. So if you didn't properly see, I'm going to provide it in the description as well. And I'm going to also mentioning here, so you should be getting all the information right away from here. So we completed the graphics information. Let's go with the audio. So here is like a Pipewire version 1.2.5. Here is the ELSA, and the Pulse audio version is 17.0. And about the network, which is unnecessary, like a Bluetooth, I don't have a Bluetooth. Drives, partitions, repos, which is clearly unnecessary for the video. If anything is important, you can just pause the video and read everything. So process running right now 296. Uptime is almost 18 minutes. And what else we have? Init system D version is 254, which is also mentioned in the release notes. I'm going to give you all the information in the description as well. Shell bash version is 5.2.32 and INXI version is 3.3.36. So let me type in cat /etc/issue. So it says Solus operating system. So if you want to try the Hestop is also not pre-installed, so you need to install everything. So INXI is only pre-installed, so you need to install everything on your own. So that was some information from the terminal or the commands. So let's go with the installation now. Let me open the installer. You just need to double click on it. And you should be seeing the installer with the Solus 4.6 Convergence. So you should be seeing that thing. And about the installer, you get the Calamares installer. The version is 3.3.9. And the available language, you get tons of languages available here. Again, the installer is a Calamares installer, so you already know how to install the Linux distributions on with the Calamares installer. But I'm going to give you a short note here, or short information. Choosing the language, click on next. And here is like a map for the location. You can choose the map, or you can choose the drop down location like here. You can choose drop down for the location, or you can choose the map. It's clearly up to you. The system language will be set to American English, United States. I'm going to keep everything as a default. The numbers and date locales will be set to American English, United States. Same as well, I kept everything as default. Click on next. Choose your keyboard. It automatically chooses your keyboard, but if anything is wrong, you can just click on the drop down menu and you can find your keyboard right here. Choose the language for the keyboard on the variant also. So here is the language selection, here is the variant. And if you want to try to test your keyboard, you can try it here. And if you want to switch the keyboard, you can just click on the keyboard and you can find anything there. Click next. Here is like options. So choose your drive wherever you want to installation or the installation destination. If you have like a multiple drives, choose the specific drive wherever you want to install the Solus Linux. So the two options will be available. One is the single boot option and another one is like a dual boot option. So basically this option is going to delete everything in that available installation drive. So if you have like a current operating system, for example, like a Windows 10 or Windows 11, it's going to delete everything, even if it's like a music, media files, videos, whatever it is, it's going to wipe everything and it's going to just install Solus Linux 4.6 on that installation drive. So if you choose this option, it's going to do that like that. And here are all the available options. And manual partitioning, you need to create a partition before choosing this option. And you can select the partition and you can install the Solus Linux as like another operating system. The current one will be your operating system and another will be the Solus Linux. So you should be having two operating systems in the boot menu. So dual boot options. So if you choose the dual boot thing and if you want to install the two operating systems in the one drive, don't do that type of thing, because if anything happens to the one operating system, it's going to affect the another operating system also. So it's always a good idea to keep like a two drives for two separate operating system. Even if anything happens to the one operating systems, you can still run the another operating system. So it's always a good practice to keep like a two drives for two operating systems. So you should be happy with those things. Even if you have any issues with the some operating system, you can just remove it or you can fix those things. So there is also some issues running on the internet right now, like a dual boot options after the update of some Microsoft, something like that. So try to do all those research, and if you're satisfied, then go with the installation. So that was some options here you get in the installation. And if you want to encrypt your system, you need to provide the password for both the boxes, which should be same. If you don't want, you just need to uncheck it. And the current drive will be like this. After installation, it will be like this. And about the bootloader location, here are the options. And if you don't know how to install the Linux distro on your hard drive or SSD, whatever it is, you need to watch some tutorials in the videos in the YouTube. There will be some short videos, because I made like a installation videos, but I don't really remember in which video I installed on the hard disk or SSD, because I made like a 3000 videos. That's the reason I'm not recommending you to watch my video, because I also I don't never make just specific installation tutorials. I never made like that, because I'll be covering everything about the specific distro, so I never made just the installation tutorials. So that's the another thing. And also, by covering all those things, my video will be like a 30 minutes or 25 minutes, like way lengthy. So really don't recommend you to just watch the installation tutorials. You don't need to watch complete video of mine. So that's the reason I'm going to recommend you to watch some other videos on the YouTube. Just watch like a 2 or 3 minutes videos of installation and it should be good. Just this specific part, and other things are same as every operating system, like a user account creations and location and all those things, which is same in every operating system. So you don't need to worry about that. So just watch this specific part and you should be good. So after clicking on next, here you need to create a user account. So that's the reason I said you just need to watch the partition part, and other things will be pretty much same. So it says like a what is your name. I'm going to provide all those things, like a 9 to 5 Linux. What name do you want to use to log in? So if you choose the numericals, it's going to give you a pop-up or an error sign. Your username must start with a lowercase letter or underscore. So it's always a good option to try with the alphabets, like this. And you should be getting all the tick marks beside the boxes, and it should be good. You don't have any issues then. So here, what is the name of this computer? I'm going to keep it like that default. You can remove the Solus and like a dash thing, so you can just remove it. So I'm going to keep it like that. Choose a password to keep your account safe. Provide the password. Password is too short, it says, but we didn't provided any password. So I'm going to provide like a 1 to 6 password. Always provide the password which should be stronger. And always write down the password in the note taking app. So whenever you forget, you just need to put it in the, just open the note taking app, and you should be watching that password, and you can type it in the boxes. So log in automatically without asking for the password. If you want to check it, you can check it, or else uncheck it. It's clearly up to you. So after clicking on next, here you should be seeing a summary of whatever you chose in the previous installation steps. So after clicking on install, these are all the things going to happen. So when you click on install, it's going to take like a 15 to 20 minutes, depends on your PC. If you have like a recommended requirements, it's going to be very quick. If you don't have the system requirements, and it should be taking a bit more. So it's clearly understandable for you already. And also, if you download the stable version, there will be no issues. In 99% of the cases, there will be no issues. Installation will be good. But when you download the beta versions or unstable version or the development versions, there are some rare cases. There will be some like issues, like installation may fail, and also the screen will be frozen, or maybe it's going to crash. So these things will happen if you're a normal user. So it's always a good option. If you're a normal user, always go with the stable version. If there is no stable version available, just wait for the stable version, or else you can choose the previous stable versions. For example, like a 4.5. So right now we already have the stable version. You can choose the stable version of 3 desktop environment, which is KDE Plasma, GNOME, and the Budgie version. But the XFCE is still in the beta version. I don't really recommend for the normal user. But if you're a Linux tester or a distro hopper, you already know how to test it. So I don't say anything for you. You can try it on your own. So if you're trying to install any of the 3 desktop environments, do your own research. It's already from the Ireland, so it's already well-known distribution. So it's clearly up to you. I am not going to say anything here. So it's a well-known distribution. So if you want to try it, you can try it. So always I'm going to mention it again and again in my every video, because I don't want you to ruin your PC. Always go with the well-known distributions. Never go with like a fancy distributions which is clearly unknown. So always go with the well-known distributions, because you should be getting the stable ISO files, and also the Linux running stably. And also, even if you have any issues or any bugs, there are a lot of people who love to help you in the forums, or you can search, you can comment it on the YouTube channels. There are a lot of people who love to help you. So it's always a good option to go with the well-known distributions instead of some fancy distributions. You can do also fancy things in the stable versions. You just need to watch some tutorials and you can change like a themes, desktop wallpapers and all those things. So you can do all those things on your own operating systems. Just always go with the stable Linux distributions and also well-known distributions. Always go with the distributions which has like a 3 years 5 years of support. Always go with those type of distributions. I'm not going to recommend any distributions, never in my channel, but always going to recommend you to go with the well-known distributions, because if you go with the well-known distributions, there are a lot of people will help even if you have some issues. And also there will be also some privacy. You don't need to worry about the privacy, so that's the reason always go with the well-known distributions. So at the almost everything, I covered most of the things. So the RAM went like a 1.6 GB right now, and also CPU is pretty much stable. Cache is like a 4.0 GB. Process right now, these are all the process running right now. So everything is working properly without issues. Now let's check some desktop features like a date and time. Here is like a date and time options, and here it should be the notifications and widgets, the devices and all those things. You can play some music here, and here is like a notification settings, the internet connections, and here is like a power options, the volume, all those things. So let's continue with the settings. So you get the same things as the GNOME, network, Bluetooth, and let's check some backgrounds. So you get a few wallpapers here. So most of them are already available from the previous version, so I don't think there is such new thing here in the wallpapers. And also none of the release notes mentioned about the wallpapers, so I don't think there will be some new wallpapers available. But if you are already using the 4.5, right away you can be getting the information right here. So you should be seeing the wallpapers. If you have already seeing the same wallpapers, then there is nothing change here. So here is all the available wallpapers. If you want to change it to anything, you can change it. So there are good wallpapers here. So I'm not going to lie, everything is pretty much good for me. So I'm going to choose this wallpaper. And the notifications, here are the same things. Multitasking, nothing changed. Applications, nothing changed. Privacy, I kept everything as default. And the sharing, power options you want here, so I kept everything as a default. Like I kept like a balanced. Here is a power saver, screen blank, everything as a default. I didn't change anything here. Display, there is also scaling. There is no fractional scaling, so you can just change it to 100 and 200%. So if you had like a fractional scaling, you can be changing to 125, 150, 175 like that. So I kept everything as a default in the display also. And about the mouse and touchpad, I'm going to change it to natural scrolling. So speed, I kept everything as a default. Keyboard, everything as a default. So I didn't change any of the, most of the things I kept everything as a default. So there is no changed options here. Removal media, colors, region and language. And these are all the same things you see in the GNOME desktop environment. So accessibility, kept everything as default. Users, it's a live boot, so that's the reason. And about the password, I really don't know what's the password. I'm going to show you at the end. We just need to type in like a live or maybe the Solus and the password should be opened. I'm going to show you at the end of the video, so you should be getting all the information. So we have already seen all the applications, and also I showed you the installation. So the only thing is left is to open a bunch of applications to see how will it handle. For example, like a rhythm box, Cellite, browser, file manager. I'm going to open like a 5 to 10 applications to see whether there will be some lag or any crashes. So we shouldn't see any bugs or anything because it's a stable version. So I don't think there will be any bugs or anything like that. And here is some Budgie desktop settings. I'm going to show you that also. Universal access, nothing is here. So here is the some system tools. Let me open the software center also. And what else we have in the system tools? I already opened the settings and all those things. Sound and video, I already opened both of things. LibreOffice, I already clicked on the LibreOffice. Let me open a bunch of applications. Under the graphics, you don't get the GIMP or anything. So there is no content creating applications. You just get the basic normal user applications. So if you want anything, you can just install it on your own. You don't need to worry about anything. Budgie and screenshot, because there is like a software center already, you can install whatever application you want, or else you can install it from the terminal and all those things. So let's check the system monitor. So you should be seeing like a bit of high graph. It's pretty much okay because I opened all the applications at once. I didn't give any time or anything. I opened everything at once, so that's the reason you should be seeing some crazy graph here. But after all the applications are opened, you should be again seeing the stable graph. So try to ignore all those things, and you should be seeing the stable graph after opening all the applications. So throughout the video, the CPU was running pretty much smoothly. The RAM was also pretty much good in my point of view, because it's a Budgie desktop environment and has also some GNOME settings and all those things. So it will be consuming this much of resources, which I can assume that in the beginning already. But if you want like a lightweight, you just need to go with the XFCE. Right now it's a beta version. I really don't recommend you. But I'm going to make a video on the XFCE also, and we can decide whether we can try it or not. So if we face any bugs in that XFCE video, then I'm going to say no for the normal user. But I still say no for the normal user because it's a beta version. So today or tomorrow there will be some issues when you run with a beta version. So that's the reason always go with the stable versions if you're a normal user. So it's consuming like a 3.1 GB after opening a bunch of applications. So it's clearly up to you. This is how it's performing. And also in the virtual machine, it's going to be consuming like a 3.1 GB. But in the bare metal, it will be consuming like a maybe like a 2.6 GB, 2.7 GB. There will be like a 400 or 500 MB of difference. You shouldn't see like a 1.2 GB or 1. You don't see that much of difference. You just see some basic difference. And also user experience will be a bit better, and also it's going to be opening all the applications instantly if you have like a recommended requirements. But it's still working without any flaw right now. Even it's a virtual machine, everything is working without any issues. So I'm fully satisfied with the distribution. You get the kernel of 6.10. So that's the only negative thing for me, because it's almost like an end of life for that specific version. And also there is like a stable version which is already mentioned in the official website. Like a 6.6 is the long-term version. So try to get all the information in the official website itself if you want to try it. So this is how it performed in my PC or in the virtual machine. And after opening all the applications, this is all the process running. And let's check the applications information, and we are going to end the video because we covered everything. So there is literally nothing left here. So about the calendar, here is the version. Let me keep the screenshot here. Let's see the information. So I'm going to close the screenshot. Calendar version, you get the 46. So basically GNOME desktop environment applications will be, most of them will be 46 version. So you should be seeing same version. And about the LibreOffice, it's also changed because the official website says there is like this specific version. So here is the version 24.2.5.2 is the version of the LibreOffice. So let me close the LibreOffice also. And about the desktop settings, you can customize according to your wish. You can change the themes, you can do whatever you want, like a light one. If you want to change to the darker, you can change it to according to your wish. So I'm going to keep everything as a default. Here is the Peppers light version. If you want light version, you can go with the light version. So these are all the customization things. So if you want the light theme, you can change to light theme. I prefer always the light theme, so I'm going to choose the light theme. So it's my perspective, it's my point of view. If you like the dark theme, you can choose the dark theme. So here are the fonts, Raven, everything kept as a default. Windows settings, you can change. About the bottom panel, here is the panels you can customize, or else you can just click right here and you should be getting some information. So here is the customization options. You can customize right from here. If you want the dock mode, you can choose the dock mode. If you want to create a new panel, you can click on the panel. You can do whatever you want. So if you want to remove the panel, you can remove the panel just clicking on it. So that's how you can do everything here. So you already used the Budgie desktop environment, so there is literally nothing to show here. And about the file manager, here is the file manager. Here are the file system. customize according to your wish. And what else we have? The browser version. I already showed you the browser version. And the cell light version. Here is the cell light version 0.2.7. And what it is? The rhythm box 3.4.7. And we left with the software center. Let me show you the software center. Here are the updates. So the available updates is like maybe 5 KB. So this is the latest ISO file. So you shouldn't be seeing the any updates right away, because you need to wait for 1 week. Maybe there will be some updates. But the ISO file is released like a few hours ago, and we are already making a video. So there is no updates right now other than the 5 KB. And the installed applications will be right here with the specific version. So I'm going to scroll it right like this. So if you want any application version, you can just pause the video and you should be getting all the information. Or else you can change the playback speed in the YouTube settings. You should be seeing everything in a slow-mo. And about the third party, here is all the third party applications. If you want to install, you can install. So if you want to search, you can search, for example, like this. You can search and you should be getting all the information. You just need to click on the application to get the screenshots and the version and the MB of file size and all those things. And here is the settings. I kept everything as a default. So these are all the settings. And I think that's the end of the video for the Solus Linux 4.6. And if you want other desktop environments, do let me know in the comment section. And if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe, because I'll be posting 2 videos daily without missing any day. If we don't have any topic, I'm not going to post, because there is literally no topic, so I can't make any video. So most of the cases in a month or in a year, I'm going to completely post without missing any day. But if I don't post any day, then remember it's there is no topic. Or else if we had any topic, I'm going to post it every day. And if we had like a 4 or 5 desktop environment, for example, Solus has like a 4 desktop environment, I'm going to make a 4 desktop environment videos. You don't need to watch some other videos. If you want to check additional information, you can check other channels. I don't have any problem. But if you want specific desktop environment, I'm going to post it right away. So there will be 2 videos daily without missing. So if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. And also there will be some time gap between 2 videos, because I can't post 2 videos at a time. There will be like 2 or 3 hours of gap, because I need to edit and I'm going to post it. And I'm going to provide all the title and all those things. So that's the reason there will be some time gap. So instead of checking out my videos in my channel, it's better to subscribe and turn on the notification. As soon as the video is posted, you should be getting the notification of the video. So it's better to turn on the notification after subscribing. So you should be getting the 2 videos notification. So at the end of the video, this is how the process are opening, and this is how all the process are running right now. And about the resources, here is all the resources, almost 1.9 GB. And I think I'm going to end the video. Before that, let me show you the logout screen, and I'm going to end the video. Let's go to the power options. Let's click on the logout. And it says, are you sure you want to end the session? I'm going to end the session. So let's wait until the logout screen is showed up. So there is literally no password. You just need to click on the login and you should be logged in automatically. Here are the accessibilities, and here are some other options like a language and all those things, more layouts, and the date and time, and the power options. So there is no password. You just need to click on enter and it should be good, or else hover over the mouse and click with the mouse and it should be good. So thanks for watching. Peace out.